Already jumping in with the jokes. Hey everyone, welcome to Books and Brew.
Oh, they caught that.
I don't know, did they? Did that happen? No, they didn't. I'm telling you right now.
I was like, I think I said it quick enough.
Hey, I'm Mike, and Amber. And during Books and Brew, we kind of do whatever we want.
I wish my Books and Brew shirt fit me, but no, it really don't. It will one day, just not now.
It's gonna fit soon. It's fine. And besides, maybe we'll even get a little baby onesie of the...
We have baby onesies.
We can. You know what? We'll find a way. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Just hold him up. He's gonna be mad.
That kid cannot even drink. What do you mean brew?
His bottle.
Bottles.
His bottle.
What about that? How about that now? Well, we've been talking about a lot. Well, before actually we get into the main subject, we always do this. We'll have a moment to talk.
I don't even remember what happened last time.
Oh, in Magic and Mosted?
Yeah,
I always want to try to...
Because we skipped, and like my brain is special nowadays. So, like, I remember day of. I don't remember right now.
Well,
oh, we're in the Feywild.
You're in the Feywild.
Okay.
And you're currently mid-fight.
With what?
With the Jabberwocky.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Wait! He was doing fine. It's all good.
His minions are a bunch of dicks. Alright.
Well, yeah, you are in the Feywild right now. You just narrowly escaped the Queen Evergrey. And you are now, doing what you can to survive now, trying to escape where you can and all that jazz. But essentially, you've been going through this Feywild adventure where you're meeting all these weird characters and scenarios. So it's been kind of fun. I've been happy to sort of... It's an interesting moment in a DM's life where they just go, I put my hand in the bag, I grab 3 things, and I go, that's the Feywild.
Well, no, you didn't, because you used that Fey book, because I seen you in there. I mean, we have the resource, you might as well use it.
True. I have been taking some inspiration from that book directly.
Is the Witchlight?
Yes, the Witchlight.
It's a good book. There's a lot of shit in there. It's a thicker book.
It's great. It's absolutely great.
I just remember it being a more expensive book because it was a thicker book.
Let's think here. So let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to talk about today. Wizards. I absolutely love them. I can't get enough of wizards. They're the best. I feel like they are, I think, maybe one of my top 3 classes. Right off the bat.
It's funny because you haven't played that many. I think you've just learned about them and like them now.
There's an inherent versatility and openness with wizards that you can honestly do a lot. Wizards have access to almost every spell, but if you're like me, I like to theme. I like theming, and so if I'm gonna pick a particular class of wizard, I'm gonna pick mainly those spells. Yes, I can cast Fireball, but if I'm a Necromancy wizard, I'm gonna pick a lot of necromantic spells because that fits with the flavor, So that's my take, but it allows you to sort of beam in this weird moment where, like, you could technically not choose illusionary magic if you're an illusionary wizard. You can go, I'm gonna go straight defensive.
I'm gonna say something right now that's not related to this conversation, but I'm pissed because he hears you talking and he's quiet.
Oh.
If I try to work, it's...
I'll remind you of the folks right now. We're expecting, and we know it's a boy, and he's very temperamental while in the bun, or in the oven.
Well, in the bun. He is the bun.
He's the bun.
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. If anybody knows anything about babies, it's technically a very good thing that I feel lack of movement is not a good thing, but it's just interesting when Mike's around, he's a little bit more subdued. And when it's just me, how do I beat the shit out of my mother?
Well, we've gone through a couple of wizards so far. We've talked about the Divination Wizards, where that's the wizards that can get a portent. Essentially, they can replace a roll with a roll that they made in the beginning of a long rest, and they get a bunch of. They're essentially like fortune tellers. They can tell the future, and they have a lot of foresight. We talked about the Illusionary Wizards, the Scribe Wizards. I think we also talked about the War Magic as well, because that's what Lily was as well. I think today, arguably, funny enough, I know people will talk about. I think we're going to talk about arguably the evilest wizards. And
I mean, but any of them could be evil. Like, you're probably going to say necromancer, and it's just like, not all of necromancers are evil.
Necromancers are up there. People do see necromancy as sort of an evil aspect of wizardry.
But if, like, you just bring people back from the dead because you're a lonely fucker.
Hey, brain tech. Oh, it's a beautiful statement. No, funny thing enough, within the...
Sorry that was your first note in here.
Within the D&D world, enchantment wizards are seen as the most evil.
Oh, I would just say the stereotypical. Everybody's like, ew, necromancy. I've never played a necromancer, don't get me wrong. Like, you had one in our at-home campaign that wasn't streamed that we didn't like, that we ended up liking, and he used his stuff for good in the end. But, like...
Which one was that?
Mento.
Oh, yeah!
The night we couldn't fucking stand his accent, which was your accent, but...
Hi, everyone! It's me!
The Zach Brannigan, if anybody knows.
Essentially, it was a Zach was like... Get me a water.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like those guys get a bad rap. I can see why they get the bad rap. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, inherently, when you think about the idea of like, there is an inherent.
But I mean, they're all. Everybody's a little bit of a necromancer, because druids, clerics, I know because it's me. I've played both classes. You bring people back from the dead, or you have the capacity, I guess, you know, maybe they're just not zombies when you bring them back. You know, they're their normal selves. Well, but still.
Like I said, there's an inherent, even within our own world, there's an inherent taboo when it comes to disturbing the dead. Whether that is, you know, loved ones, or even, you know, that's why it's like when they're actually, I'm gonna get a little real here, when there actually is war, you know, there is sort of a notion that you can pick up the dead bodies and take them back to your side without being accosted, because again, they are fallen human beings. Yeah, again, still, but there is still that inherent, there are records of this happening in the real world.
No, there is, but I'm just saying, having relatives in active war, knowing that that's not always the case, it's very much just stack them over there, we'll deal with it later.
Well, I know that in active war I get it, but I mean retrieving. So there is a bit of a thought process in terms of necromancy that this is kind of taboo. You shouldn't be messing with the dead, leave them dead. And of course, nothing really comes back. Nothing really good happens from the undead. Zombies, ghosts, skeletals, liches, you know, these zombie dragons. Nothing good comes from the undead. So necromancy on a base is seen as evil, which is why I really like when Matt Mercer, ghost? Like, zoinks, guys, there's a ghost in here. That's why when Matt Mercer was playing as that really powerful wizard who was trapped in the gym, they asked him, hey, what kind of wizard were you? And he was like, I tampered in necromancy. And they were like, that's kind of taboo, isn't it? And he goes, what are you talking about? Do you not have friends who heal people? Bring people back from the dead? Is that not a form of necromancy?
Yeah, well, that's what I just said. I'm like, technically.
Yeah. So I love that argument. That it's like healing is necromancy, even though it's not labeled as such.
It's labeled as healing.
Healing is labeled as
it's not evocation, is it?
It's evocation.
Oh, I got one right, guys. I read enough books. Sorry, I'm messing with these bangs a lot. It's like a habit.
But that's an interesting thought.
I mean, like, that's the argument of like, I give you a band-aid and your wound's closed, so therefore I'm healing you, but like, I used the fucking defibrillator and you were dead, and now I brought you back because I shocked the shit out of your system. I still brought you back from the dead, but it's ultimately healthcare. But you know, I don't know. Like, you're not gonna be like, oh, well, they bring dead guys back from the dead. Like, still same umbrella. So, it's just those are different umbrellas in D&D.
There was someone who, because there was a task someone on, I think, on YouTube. They were like, well, how could you make necromancy inherently good? Like a necromantic a wizard. And they're like, what kind of backstory, what kind of character could you make that everything they do is not taboo? So, yeah, technically, it would be technically necromancy. And
I'm just saying, if they say you're dead and they bring your ass back with another shock, I'm just, I'm just saying.
for that, there's a few seconds you were dead.
I'm putting out that idea. I don't know how long you were dead.
What constitutes someone dead? Like no heart?
Yeah, no heart.
No heartbeat, no heartbeat. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I think if you're not breathing and you have a lack of pulse.
You're
You're no longer having oxygen to your organs, brain, temples. The nurse, she should be in here. And then you don't have an active pulse. You don't have blood pumping through. But like, I don't know. I think there's a time limit though. Like if you're pronounced legally dead, I think there's like a time limit in which that has to occur.
A person being dead.
Almost say that there's interesting.
An individual who has sustained either irreversible cessation or
asphyxiation,
respiratory functions, like basically cut from that.
Yeah,
irreversible all functions of the entire brain, including the brainstem. A person is considered legally dead by the UDDA. I think there's two different types of death that are kind of.
I know there should be organized. A time limit though. Like I think they stopped trying at a certain point.
I think there's two different types of labeling when it comes to our, health authorities constitute being dead. There's like death, and then there's like legally dead, which is weird. But back to the idea that like, how do you make this positive? This person who brings back the dead. This one person said, well, what a good idea that they had was imagine a widower or someone who survived a gruesome attack and all of their family members that they were part of a big family died. And they grieve, and they ended up, they were able to attach their family members' souls to a necklace, like a necklace that had pictures of them. Mm-hmm. And so whenever they bring someone back from the dead, like a body, like they find a body somewhere, they grab one of the souls of their family members and they put it into the dead body just so that they can be with them longer. It's kind of a bittersweet, like it's still sad and it's still icky because it is necromancy, but it's not necessarily like, oh, it's evil. It's just like, I miss my brother today and I wish I could just be with him, so I'm gonna find a random corpse, and of course the body can't talk, but it'll react and talk, like not what, but like it'll move in a way where like it used to be his brother.
It's still weird.
It's still weird because it's necromancy.
I really feel like, and this isn't even everybody, because not everybody plays like this. So like, I feel like one of the tropes, I guess, or one of the maybe common characters, I'm gonna try and do this very loosely because I don't want to offend nobody.
No, yeah,
it's very like the person that can't let go. And I know I play like one that like didn't let go, but I gave the alternative, I guess, with Vera. I said if she felt like there was no foul play in her at the time fiance's death, she was gonna let it go, because she was like, whatever happened, and this was his fate now, and like she doesn't agree with it, but like she was gonna leave it alone because death is death.
Yes.
But if she thought something like happened with malice, or like something was just not right, obviously when she went to go talk to Psycho Bitch, it wasn't horribly, so much so that the people she barely met picked up on it. So she didn't go that route, and now he's resurrected. But so that's why I'm saying, like, clerics technically do that. Like, she did that for her own selfish reasons.
And your
technically,
sister.
Yeah.
Oh no, you didn't do it. You had a ritual that it needed because the soul was gone.
No, that was divine intervention again. They were both divine intervention.
Oh, true.
But yeah, I mean, like, I get it, but at the same time, I feel like the difference between that and like maybe a character trope of being a necromancer is like you don't think there's a line there, like you don't question, you just do. Like there is no questioning before, like, oh, maybe I should or I shouldn't. Well, no, I'm just gonna bring them back because I can.
Well, speaking of bringing people back and having the power of necromancy, let's go and talk about the necromantic school of wizardry. So essentially, School of Necromancy explores the cosmic forces of life, death, and the undead. As you focus your studies on this tradition, you learn to manipulate the energy that animates all living thing. That's a really interesting thought process when you're creating your character. It could be like you're not necessarily using this strange magic to bring things back to life. Maybe you're like a scientist. You're like Dr. Frankenstein type of thing, where like maybe you use like bolts and electricity to bring things back, and you know how to do it.
I still say that, man. Really needed to think of should I, not could I.
Most people see necromancers as menacing or even villainous due to their close association with death. Not all necromancers are evil, but the forces that they manipulate are considered taboo by many societies, and that's sort of the idea of why people think it's villainous. First of all, you get Grim Harvest, a second level. You gain the ability to reap life energy from creatures that you kill with spells. Once per turn, when you kill one or more creatures with a spell of first level or higher, you regain hit points equal to that spell level. Or 3 times the level if the spell belongs to a school of necromancy. If you kill someone with a necrotic touch or something along those lines, a level 1 or higher, you gain hit points back. So you're just almost like a vampire, which is undead, which is funny.
I feel like if you accidentally get into it, then, because I mean, you could be a vampire.
You could,
and or like maybe you got bit, and so you started studying necromancy now. So you can't really come outside.
there is the Dampier now that you can be. At 6th level, you get a thing called Undead Thralls. This is where your necromantic, what's it called? This is where your necromancy wizard really shines. At 6th level, you gain the Animate Dead spell into your spell book if it's not already there. You can cast Animate Dead, and you can target one additional corpse or a pile of bones, creating another zombie skeleton as appropriate. Whenever you do create undead using a necromantic spell, it has the added benefits. Its max HP is increased by the equal to your wizard spell level, and the creatures you add proficiency to its weapon damage rolls.
So good. I only on one sailor.
So that's really good. The higher you level, the better your zombies become. And by the way, I truly believe that even though with low AC, zombies are the best undead.
But yeah, watch them fucking claws. That's the
reason I say that.
And then they like have that thing where you could roll to like they're gonna get back up.
Yeah, Undead Fortitude.
I'm like, fuck.
Undead Fortitude is so clutch. It's essentially a constant moving orc resistance.
Ghost.
But it's so good. So this means your zombies or your skeletons are even harder to kill, and when they do hit, they hit harder, which is great. Also, you get to cast this once per day, meaning that you don't have to cast, which I believe Animate Dead is a 3rd level spell. It is.
I think Vera has it.
Yes, you do. As a cleric, you do.
I thought about it once, and I was like,
that'd be funny. Would you ever do that? Animate Dead?
I think she would use an enemy she killed to help kill another enemy, because that's more of a tactical decision than I have to put mental thought into who and what I'm bringing back. But are they underneath your control?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Then yeah,
they are.
I feel like if she was in a tactical position, she would like get the guy up that they killed and make it go against the.
You can choose a pile of bones or a corpse, and your spell imbues the target with foul mimicry of life, raising it to an undead creature. The target becomes a skeleton if you choose bones, or a zombie if you chose a corpse. On each of your turns, you can use your bonus action to mentally command the creature you made with the spell, and essentially you can ask it to do things. It can attack. You could decide the action that the creature will take. So it's pretty good. You can also issue it general commands such as guard a particular chamber or corridor. If you give it no commands, the creature only defends itself against hostile creatures. Once it's given an order, the creature will follow it until it's complete. You have control over this creature for 24 hours. And then once it's over, the body slumps.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't think she would use this on somebody she cares about, because that already technically happened to Uthiel, and it made her very sad and like very upset that he was used in that way. So it's just like, no. I think if it was somebody trying to kill me, then maybe use your own fire against you, but not like let me raise him from the dead type deal.
Yeah. I think it'd be a funny juxtaposition if you were like versus Evergrey and you're like, I brought back some friends of yours, and like some bad enemies that are like, friends.
That's if they're my friends. I mean, to bring Lily back would be a bitch.
That's true. I think we counted it that you disintegrated her with radiant flame.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's gonna be hard. There's no bones or corpse, so
let me go get some sand.
Well, then the entire
paste it together.
Well, then the entire lab exploded. How is that gonna work? It's raining Lily right now.
Here, Paylor, I saved some dust. How about some resurrection?
Yeah, for reals. Paylor's gonna look at you and be like,
Be like, listen, okay, your other two were kind of reasonable in the sense of godlyhood, but I don't know about that one.
At 10th level, you get a thing called Injured to Undead. Beginning at 10th level, you have resistance to necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum can never be reduced. You have spent so much time dealing with the undead and forces that animate them, you have become injured to some of the worst effects. So essentially, you are affecting, you've been exposed to this sort of necrotic taboo energy so much so that it doesn't hurt you anymore, or at least not as much. In addition to that, you're kind of twisted in a way where if a vampire were to bite you, which you've experienced where it does lower your max HP, it doesn't do it. You are resistant, or you are immune for having your max HP reduced, which actually is pretty nice for a wizard because you're squishy. And last, you get Command Undead. Starting at 14th level, you can use your magic to bring undead under your control, even those by other wizards. As an action, you can choose one dead that you can see within 60 feet. By the way, I need to mention this. It says here that it's one undead. It doesn't have to be a skeleton or a zombie. It just says one undead within 60 feet. That creature must make a charisma saving throw against your wizard's save DC. By the way, most undeads don't have good charisma. If it succeeds,
I think they do, unless they're like trying to seduce people.
If it succeeds, you can't use this feature again. But if it fails, it becomes friendly to you and obeys your command until you use this feature again. I will also, let's see, I don't, okay, it doesn't see that, there's a funny thing about this ability is one, there's technically not a time limit on it, but there kind of is. I'll explain. So intelligent, well, the reason why, there's a lot of rules to it. So if it's a what I would like to call a dumb undead, a creature with an intelligence level of 8 or lower, or sorry, 7 or lower, they are under your control forever. If they are an intelligent undead, we have NPCs who have a intelligence level of 8 or higher. Quinn is.
Yeah, I guess.
So it means they're on the intelligence scale at least comfortable. If they have an intelligence score of 8 or higher, it has advantage on that saving throw, and if it fails, so if it's 8 or higher, it
message, don't be dumb.
It has advantage on saving throw if it's 8 or higher. And if it fails, it has let's see. If it fails the saving throw and has an intelligence of 12 or higher, it can then repeat the saving throw every hour until it succeeds and breaks free. So essentially,
okay, I have a 12.
You essentially can, in a way, command a very powerful undead if they fail on advantage. So it's very difficult to do it to very, smart undead. So you can't do it to Lich. It's not gonna work.
I wish.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up something real quick. I'm kind of
Yeah, my intelligence is a 12.
I'm curious. Well, you're not an undead.
No. I'm just saying.
Let's see. I'm curious of what you can technically command that would be really cool. Okay. You can technically command a beholder zombie. Beholder zombies are a thing. With an AC of 15 and about 93 hit points. They have an intelligence of 3. Because they're a zombie. They're not smart. So if you really want to, you can technically, if it fails a charisma saving throw, which this has a -3, you can control this thing forever. It's under your command. This beholder, this nasty looking beholder. I'm thinking, what about... I don't know if this is going to work. I'm thinking, what about a mummy lord? I would assume mummy lords are a little intelligent. You know? Oh my god. All right, mummy lords have an AC of 17, HP of 97. They have an intelligence of 11.
Oh.
So this means the mummy lord does not need to make a save every hour, because if it fails, it's under your command forever, but it has advantage on the saving throw.
I thought you said if it was a 12, not an 11.
That's why. If it's only when it's a 12, does it have to make it every hour?
You froze for me for a sec.
Oh, I did? I'm fine. I'm okay. So that's the last ability you get as a necromantic wizard. Not bad. I mean, once you get 14th level, that's pretty good. You know, find yourself a really scary looking monster that's undead and go, you're mine forever now. Let's go, buddy. No one's gonna want to mess with you when you have a zombie beholder sort of flying behind you.
What if you got... I don't know if they're that smart, though. Those pod zombies. Are they smart enough?
Oh, the pod spawns?
Yeah.
I don't think they're intelligent. Oh, that's a pretty good one. So that, again, people think necromancy is evil.
I mean, we just named a pretty... we named a pretty powerful stat that I don't see many people using for good.
True.
Ability, I should say, not stat.
I like to argue that the enchantment wizards are way more evil. Because it goes beyond just death. It's nasty. Let's talk about that real quick. So we have the members of the School of Enchantments. You've honed your ability to magically enchant and beguile other people and monsters. Some enchanters are peacemakers who bewitch violence to lay down their arm and charm the cruel into showing mercy. Others are tyrants who magically bind the unwilling into servitude. Most enchanters fall somewhere in between. That's scary. Yeah. Someone can walk up to you and go, you're mine now. And you could be anyone. You could be the king. You can be a peasant. You can be a church person and go, sure, of course.
That's like that thing that, what's her face did? Can't think of her first name, but Briarwood to the king when they like charmed him to be under her power. I mean, obviously when she died, it went, but
that's true. She did do a bit of enchantment. So first of all, you get Hypnotic Gaze at 2nd level when you choose this school. Your soft words and enchanting gaze can magically enthrall another creature. As an action, you can choose one creature you can see within 5 feet of you, so essentially you have to be standing right in front of them. If the target can see and hear you, it must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your spell DC. Or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn. A charmed creature drops to 0, the creature is incapacitated and visibly dazed. On subsequent turns, you can use your action to maintain this effect, extending its duration until the end of your next turn again. However, the effect ends if you move more than 5 feet away, if the creature cannot see or hear you, or if the creature takes damage. Once the effect ends, if the creature succeeds, you cannot use this feature again until you take a long rest. Already, this is scary. Because imagine you're Vera, right? And you're talking to Rolly, and you're talking to Savannah, and some random person comes up to you and like places an arm around your shoulder right next to you, and you're like, who the hell are you? And they go, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. And you fail the save, and immediately you're charmed, and you go, oh my god, you're right. I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, how's it going? Are you doing all right?
Question is, do my fellow teammates have insight enough to catch that what the hell before I switch?
So, there is a creepy moment here because, one, it just says your voice and gaze. It doesn't say anything about a somatic component. There is no material. It's just them talking to you.
No, I mean like how you played it
Parks.
out. How you played it out right now, where it was just like at first she didn't recognize this person. They did whatever they did, but her initial reaction was "what the hell" and gave you a weird face, and then she switched.
I think it would be the sad thing about it is that it's not until you see them. So the thing would be it'd be a very high DC of insight for them, because I could play it off as a DM saying you got startled by someone who grabbed your arm and you didn't know what it was until you looked over, and then you saw them. You were like, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. So it'd have been like, hey, hey, how's it going? It essentially that type of reaction. So as long as they're within 5 feet of you, then go, hey, can you join me real quick? Let's go dance. And you're going to go, okay, hey, go tell your friends we're going to go dance. You got it. Hey, Rolly, Savannah, I'm going to go dance with my friend here. Perfect. You go dancing, and they go, you're still holding hands. Why don't you go ahead and go outside with me? Sure. Your entire... That's why it's scary.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's still room for people to be like, that's off about her. Especially if you're not a social person and this person was like, let's go. And you're like, she never fucking does that shit.
But imagine, because he doesn't... all they need to go is just... They just need to maintain... They just have to keep on doing their action to maintain it, so it can be indefinite.
No, I know. I'm saying it is creepy. I totally agree with you, but I feel like there's still ways around it. Very much like how they're... I don't think that's what was done to 42 in our Sunday campaign.
No,
but
it
it was
different.
Very much like his mind was taken over, and like he still had the knowledge of everything and was still doing pretty much the same things, but there was minor tweaks that were like minor but major for him. That like unless you knew him, you didn't know those things were off.
Well, it's a very creepy thought, because even if while you're being taken away, they can just sort of mind link with you and go, tell them you're fine. Make up an excuse, and you go, oh, this is just my friend from when we were studying church and stuff.
Yeah. So
it's a very... That's why I feel like Enchantment Wizards are very scary. Full honestly here, even if we do campaign 2, I don't think I'm gonna introduce this feels dirty.
You don't like it enough?
No, I don't. I feel like it's very dirty, and I don't want to introduce this type of control. It doesn't feel good.
Well, because then you're not really playing. I like that character, whoever's like, it's you playing, not
No, but
them.
like I mean like a villain.
No, I know.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, like, if you were to do it to one of us, whatever we were at the time, it's like we're not really playing. We're just kind of like the dummy in the background agreeing all the time.
Yeah.
Because we don't we don't really have free will at that point.
And I also feel like it hits too close to home to actual, like, real world abuse and stuff like that. Like controlling, manipulating. It doesn't feel good. So there's a reason why the D&D community believes that this is sort of the most evil.
Well, I feel like that's how it was with poor Yasha, because that was her thing. It was very much like, I think it was when she would have breaks, people, like, her thing was Matt would make her, like, you would see a tear in her eye, but they were like, her face was expressionless. And she was still doing what she was doing. Like, you knew she was in there, but she had no control of what she was doing.
Moving on, they have instinctive charm at 6th level. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to divert the attack, provided that another creature is within the attacker's range. The creature must make a wisdom saving throw against your spell DC. On a fail, the attacker must target another creature that it's closest to, not including you or itself. If multiple creatures are closest, the attacker chooses which one to hit. You must choose to use this feature before knowing whether or not the attack hits or misses. creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect. Saves you from a hit. Not bad. Which is funny because I think at level 10 for illusionary wizards, you get to like block and attack. This is essentially getting it at level 6, which is nice. There are some limits to it, but it's nice. At 10th level, you get a thing called Split Enchantment. When you cast an enchantment level of first level or higher that only targets one creature, you can have it target a second creature. So, let's see, first level or higher. What's a good enchantment spell? Let's see here, enchantment. Let's see here. Command is pretty good. Hold person is technically an enchantment. Suggestion.
Sorry, I was trying to take my sock off.
No, it's fine. Insight greed is pretty good. Compulsion.
I feel like I've had all those except for compulsion between either the cleric or the druid.
I think what really kind of makes this is dominate person, because it lasts for a minute. That's a scary thing. Oh, not mass suggestion. Power word pain is pretty good.
Bad.
It's really bad. Dominate monster is one creature, and you can concentrate up to an hour. So technically, you can control 2 people for an hour. So, it gets very muddled and very gray and very creepy. Last one is what I think is kind of makes this its own little sort of creep factor. At 14th level, you get an ability called Alter Memories. Can you already, right?
Isn't that what Jester had?
Well, I think what is the spell that she used? It's
somebody else had it too. Scanlan had it too.
Yeah, it's what is it? I'm gonna look it up right now.
They have to make a save though, as I know you did it.
Not Mind Blank. Mighty Fortress.
Nah.
What spell was it? What level?
Because it was just like a memory. You couldn't do the whole thing, but it's like a thing they remembered.
Is it like a 5th level spell? Modify Memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 5th level spell. Modify. Let's see what the difference is. Modify Memory. You can change up to 10 minutes of someone's memories. This one says you gain the ability to make a creature unaware of your magical influence on it. When you cast an enchantment spell to charm one or more creatures, you can alter one creature's understanding so that it remains unaware that it's being charmed. Because there are some charm spells that after you cast it and it ends, they are aware they were charmed.
I still feel like that was the most clutch thing Jester could have did, because she never used those sprinkles that she finally used on that stupid muffin or the pastry, the cupcake.
It says here, additionally, once before the spell ends, you can use your action to try to make the chosen creature forget some of the time it's spent charmed. You can, so this is the idea, is you can make it do a thing and then have it forget that it did the thing. So you can, I think there's like a suggestion, like lasts for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You can cast suggestion and go, I need you to bring me a key, and like, let's say you're in jail. And so they go around, grab the key, come back and you go, open my door now. They open the door, they open your friend's doors and you're like, go back to your desk. And you can control it, and then they forgot that you ever left. And then the wardens come by and was like, where's the prisoners? Still in there. Let me go see. What the hell? How'd they escape? Not even realizing that they did it. They can lose a number of hours or of its memories equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier. So you can make the creature forget less time, but essentially you are limited to that number. So if you have a charisma modifier of 2, you can make it forget 3 hours. A lot can be done in 3 hours.
That's true.
So that's the Enchantment Wizard. Arguably, again, I feel like is the most dirty of wizards. No one wants their autonomy taken away.
Yeah.
We've had players and we've had party mates who get like hold monster or something or dominated, and then it's like, what do you do?
My sock.
You're held. You can't do anything. That's the end of your turn.
And she always fails that.
We know who we're
save.
talking about. I know that.
We're like every time, and you're just like, I don't know how she just fails it every time. I know her wisdom sucks ass, but like, you think she'd get one good roll? I think she's only rolled like one good roll the whole time we've been playing. That like it didn't work on her. So I'm just like, how do you roll a quote unquote dog shit every time for those saves?
We have, I think, let's go through one more subclass and then we'll call it a day. We have did we talk about abjuration? No, we haven't yet.
I thought we did.
Maybe I think we did. We have blade singing, conjuration, evocation, and transmutation.
I thought we went over transmutation. Oh no.
Let's go through a conjuration. Make some friends. Because that's essentially what conjuration is you get to conjure up an elemental, conjure up some face spirits, conjure up some beasts, make a familiar. It's conjuration. So, School of Conjuration, you favor spells that produce objects and creatures out of thin air. You can conjure billowing clouds of killing fog or summon creatures from elsewhere to fight on your behalf. As your mastery grows, you learn spells of transportation that can teleport you across vast distances, even to other planes of existence. You can bring things into existence. You're a genie at this point. At second level, you get minor conjuration. Starting at second level, when you select the school, you can use your action to conjure up an inanimate object in your hand or on the ground in an occupied space that you can see within 10 feet. The object can be no longer than 3 feet on its side and weigh no more than 10 pounds. Its form must be a non-magical item that you have seen before, and the object is visibly magical, radiating dim light out of 5 feet. It disappears after an hour. It's a great little tool. Maybe if you want to make a little tiny torch, you can make it. It goes for an hour. It gives a bit of light for 5 feet. I think it's smart to, like, if you have nothing to create fire with, you can create a little bit of like flint, sort of make a little bit of fire, or matches if you wanted to. A matchbox. This is there for creativity. Get really creative of what you can create. I think a really funny thing is, like, your thief lost his thieves' tools or broke. Fine. You make a rolled up thing of thieves' tools. Let's go ahead and finish this off of the rest of the abilities. Benign Transportation at 6th level, you can use your action to teleport up to 30 feet on an occupied space. Alternatively, you can choose a space within range that is occupied by a small or medium creature. If that creature is willing, you both teleport, swapping places. So it's nice if, like, the barbarian is back there and the big bad baddie's in front of you and you're like, oh shit, you wanna? Yes, got it. You switch places. I like, it's cool that you can teleport 30 feet, but you can do that as a bonus action.
I can swap places. Well, I don't think I could swap places. I think I can send somebody else instead of me 30 feet.
So it's okay.
But mine's just because of what I am. It's not like because she's a cleric. It's because she's the type of elf she is.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, your race allows you to do that no problem as a bonus action. This one takes a full action. But I guess one big benefit is that you can do this again if you cast a first level conjuration spell or higher.
Yeah, I can't. I think there's something that if I use this spell slot, I can do it again.
I don't think so. Not for your racial abilities.
I
The thing that you can do,
holding bone.
you can spend a spell slot to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Focus Conjuration, beginning at 10th level. When you are concentrating on a conjuration spell, your concentration cannot be broken as a result of taking damage. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Considering you're squishy.
The only time you'll lose concentration is when you go down, you become incapacitated, or some other non-damage related, effect. But that's really damn good. There is a Mage Slayer feat that essentially is like, I can hit you and make you break concentration. This goes, no. Not even that. Damage me? Pff, no. And the last ability you get is Durable Summons. At 14th level, any creature that you summon or create within a conjuration spell has 30 temporary hit points. That's okay. That doesn't scream 14th level feature.
Well, they're just there to take damage, I guess.
I guess. I mean, it says any creature you summon. What? Do you remember how many HP dire wolves get?
They have 30 something.
30 something. So like, it says any creature. So if you cast a conjure animal and it summons 2 of them, they both get it. I guess that's okay. I guess you have to get creative with it, I suppose.
I mean, they get advantage and all sorts of shit if they're next to each other. So that's more of like a don't let one of them die versus.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you don't want to. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, that's the 3 spell wizards we're going to talk about today, guys.
3 spell.
3 spell. Don't forget to join us
3
tomorrow.
classes.
Don't forget to join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as we're going to go for episode 60 of Magic at Mostad. We're going to continue our Feywild adventure. So, until then, see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.